Happy May 4th. May the Force be with you. My name's Evan. Welcome to a Star Wars tier list ranking video. Today I'm going to be ranking every single canon project on a tier list, including Holiday Special. I decided to take the time to rewatch a few of these projects and review them on Letterboxd, of course. And today I'm going to be doing an in-depth review, ranking every single one of these projects on this tier list. Hear me out. Watch the video all the way to the end to see the final result. And if you don't want to watch to the end, leave the video running in the background muted, because that supports me a lot. I'm going to get started on all of these, and as you can see, every one of these is in timeline order. Here's a list of series, movies, shows I've never watched. The only one I have watched is this little Grogu short, but I really would not know where to rank it. Here are all 5 tiers I'm going to be putting all of these projects in. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. Comment your ranking or your opinion on some of these projects. Without further ado, let's get started with the ranking. Firstly, I'm going to talk about episode 1. And some of these I already gave a review on Letterboxd. I'll leave my Letterboxd in the description down below if you guys want to check it out. Phantom Menace to me is a below average movie. What carries this movie a lot is Darth Maul and the final duel at the end. I personally forgot how annoying Jar Jar was in this movie, but I'm really happy. Spoilers for Mando Season 3, Ahmed Best got his redemption in The Mandalorian with the Jedi and everything. That was amazing to me. But what bothered me was the decision making of making Anakin 9 years old and Padme 12 years old. For Maul, someone like Darth Maul, the fact that they could have wasted a really good villain in that movie. Thank God we got something like the Clone Wars and how they brought him back. So we're very lucky about that. If I saw this movie for the first time in theaters, I feel like the movie would have been okay at best. I feel like Maul would have been someone I would have loved just because of his lightsaber. I think that makes him really unique as a villain. But for the final battle, as much as I love it, there's 4 things going on at once you have to keep track of. You have probably one of the best fights in Star Wars, the best lightsaber duels. You got everything that's going on with Padme, and you got Anakin in the fighter, and then you got Jar Jar Binks at the end with the Naboo planes. The only thing you're really caring about is that lightsaber fight. You don't care about all the 3 other fights. You know, you probably would. But the main one you're caring about is that lightsaber fight. And you got 3 other things just thrown at you. You have to keep track of all these things at once. Phantom Menace to me is a below average movie. If I had to rank it out of 10, it's going to be around like a 5.5 out of 10. Attack of the Clones is also going to be around below average. Do I think it's better than Phantom Menace? Yes. Not by a lot though. I believe it's like around a 5.7 out of 10. To me, the entire Geonosis battle arena carried this movie. And if I saw this movie in 2002, saw Count Dooku, that saber fight at the end with Yoda, I would have been hyped up. Honestly, this movie would have probably been average just because of that fight. Honestly, Phantom Menace probably would have done the same. I feel like theater experience definitely would have changed my opinion here. But obviously, I was not bored when both these movies came out. What was the problem with this movie? There's a lot of things. Firstly, to me, I felt like it was Anakin and Padme going on and off for like 2 hours straight. 1 minute of the movie, they're flirting with each other. The other minute of the movie, Padme has a problem with him. You know? Final battle definitely carries this movie. Do I think the antagonist is better than Maul? No, I like Maul's character better, but I liked how we saw Dooku more in this movie. Now we got the Clone Wars movie, and we got all 7 shows. This is definitely going to cause controversy. I started rewatching the Clone Wars as Season 7 was announced. I watched the movie. I saw Season 7. I personally loved Season 7, but I started to change my opinion on it once I got a little more into other projects and really thinking about this season over time. The movie to me is Admiral Holdo level. I personally, the first time I watched it, it would have probably been like around here. I personally didn't think it was bad. I would like to rewatch it eventually and re-rank it on Letterboxd or whatever, but personally right now it's an Admiral Holdo level and it's not really that good. How would I rank seasons 1 through 7? I personally think Season 1 is the worst season of the Clone Wars. Season 2 is better than it. I feel like it had better episodes to watch, but it's like a tiny bit better. Season 6 is in between both Season 2 and 1. I don't really have anything memorable to say about these 3, mainly, especially 6. Season 3 is up next, and that's the average tier. I feel like it definitely had better episodes than Season 1, 2, and 6. Season 4 and Season 5 is in the solid tier, and personally these are the best seasons of the Clone Wars. And Season 7, which just might get hate, but the only reason why it's going to be in the average tier is because of the 4 final episodes. Those 4 final episodes carry Season 7. the first 8 episodes do not carry this season. Firstly, for me, season 1, 2, and 6 were not memorable. They don't have like these amazing memorable episodes. If you're someone who loves Ahsoka, you don't want to go ahead and watch season 1, 2, or the Clone Wars movie. You'll find her character easily annoying. Season 6, she's not even in season 6 because in season 5 she left the Jedi Order. I felt like season 4 and 5 had some really good memorable episodes. Like season 4 had the return of Maul. You had the whole story arc where Obi-Wan disguises himself as a bounty hunter. And Cad Bane's there. I love those episodes when I watched them for the first time. Like, I personally really love those episodes. Personally love season 5 as well. I love the storyline with Mandalore and the Ahsoka storyline. For season 7, the only reason why it just ranks how it is because of the Ahsoka episodes. And I don't hate Ahsoka. I think many people are going to think of me as an Ahsoka hater, but I personally don't hate her. But you had so much potential in the season. They could have actually made it more than 12 episodes. You could have had the 4 Ahsoka episodes in. You could have kept that in. And brought in the cancelled Cad Bane and Boba Fett episodes, those bounty hunting episodes. I think would have been very memorable. Could have brought in the Asajj Ventress and Quinlan Vos episodes. If I had to rank the entire Clone Wars show as a whole, it would either be at the very, very top of average or in the middle to the end of the solid tier. I've seen people rank it in perfect, the 5 out of 5. It's not a 10 out of 10 show. It has some really good, memorable moments. But as always, Disney Star Wars has to mess up something related to these Star Wars projects that they do. Like every Star Wars project, or most of them, has something that Disney messes up every time. Tales of the Jedi is not better than the Clone Wars show as a whole. I do believe it's better than a lot of it. I'm going to put it in solid. I love the Count Dooku episodes. I think the Count Dooku episodes really carry the show as a whole. I believe they could have done something better than have Ahsoka episodes. I imagine if it was just Qui-Gon as 3 episodes, Count Dooku as 3 episodes, that would have been so cool. We've seen a lot about Ahsoka already. She's even getting her own show. I don't really know why she has to be in Tales of the Jedi. Count Dooku episodes were amazing. It was awesome to see Yaddle in it. And the Ahsoka episodes, they were decent. The ending of season 1 to me was very, very disappointing. The Inquisitor's so cool. He was teased throughout the show, and then boom, he just gets one-shotted. Like, dang. But Tales of the Jedi, it's solid. Next, Revenge of the Sith is perfect. Bad Batch season 1 and 2 is next. Now, I think people will disagree with me here, but to me, this show is not that good. I believe this show is better than seasons 1, 2, and 6 of the Clone Wars, but it is not better than episode 1 and 2. And this is actually how I would rank these 2 seasons. Season 1, I believe, had a better introduction to the season than season 2. Mid-season, I believe story-wise, plot-wise, season 2 was better. But enjoyment-wise, action-wise, seeing Cad Bane back, I believe season 1 took that by a little bit. Finales, season 2 obviously takes it with Tech's sacrifice and everything. Do I think we'll see Tech again? I honestly would not be surprised if Tech returns in the future. I believe season 1 is a little better than season 2, just personally by enjoyment. But besides that, The Bad Batch to me is not really that good of a show. How they pace it, the amount of fillers, it has the same problems as Clone Wars and Rebels. It just really isn't that fun. It really is not a show you need to watch. When you're watching these in timeline order, do you really need to watch The Bad Batch? You don't. You really don't. Solo is next. Solo is in the average tier. This is another movie I wanted to rewatch. I just didn't get the time to. For right now, it's in the average tier. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I got the time to rewatch this show. It's better than Tales of the Jedi. And this is definitely going to be a hot take. I believe it's better than season 4 of the Clone Wars. Kenobi has some really good, emotional, memorable moments of the show, but it lacks and messes up on a few things. And this is what I meant by Disney Star Wars always knows how to mess up things. Kenobi was originally supposed to be a trilogy, and that was scrapped because of Solo's performance. Kathleen Kennedy said, Solo underperformed. Instead of having Kenobi be a trilogy, which is what should have 100% happened, they made it into a limited series 6-episode show. I completely understand. I get why, after rewatching it, why people do not like Kenobi as a show. But for my enjoyment, I really like Kenobi. I believe every episode in this show has a problem. If you want to see my full review on it, go to Letterboxd again. To me, Kenobi is solid, but I completely understand why people would rank Kenobi in lower tiers. Now we're up to Star Wars Rebels. Season 1 of Rebels is definitely below average. Season 2, the only episode I believe that carries Season 2 is of course the ending. 2 episodes 100% carry the show. And I believe Rebels was the first Star Wars series I watched every episode for, or most episodes for. To me, Season 2 was probably low average. Season 3, seeing the fight between Obi-Wan and Maul, definitely carries it. I believe it's going to be at the top of below average. And Season 4, I believe, is better than Season 3 of the Clone Wars. It's not better than Solo. Andor is the next one, and this is going to cause controversy. I already know it. I've seen people say it's the best Star Wars live action show. It's not. Andor, in my opinion, is better than most of these projects. I'm going to put it between Season 4 and Tales of the Jedi. Rogue One, to me, is an amazing Star Wars movie. I believe it's in the solid tier. They took a big risk by introducing them and killing them off in the same movie. Some of these characters you don't really care about. Some of them you do, and then they just get killed off in the movie to begin with. That Vader hallway scene was the best scene of the movie. Obviously, I don't think there's anything else about the movie that could beat that. Vader definitely carries it a little bit, obviously, because it's flipping Darth Vader. Director Krennic is a really solid villain. Again, I want to see him again in the future. And Rogue One, to me, is a solid movie. A New Hope is next, and I'm going to rank it between Rogue One and Season 5. Empire Strikes Back, everything about it is perfect. It is the best Star Wars movie to exist, the best Star Wars canon project to exist. Return of the Jedi would have been perfect. I rewatched it earlier today with my friend. It's the top of solid. The Mandoverse so far, without Ahsoka. So you got Mando Seasons 1 through 3 and the Book of Boba Fett. Mando Season 1 is in the solid tier between Kenobi and Season 4. The Clone Wars Season 2 is perfect. It is ahead of everything here. The Book of Boba Fett is at the top of average. I'll get into that in a second. And Season 3 of The Mandalorian is going to be at the top of average. Now, Book of Boba Fett. I believe Book of Boba Fett is better than most of the Clone Wars. I believe it's better than Seasons 1 through 3 and 6. I believe it's a tiny bit better than Season 7. And the only reason why I say it's better than Season 7 is obviously because of the first 8 episodes of Season 7. They could have done so much better. The fact that 2 of the 7 episodes were taken up by Mando was really stupid. Like, those episodes alone are obviously 10 out of 10s. And that says something because Boba Fett only had a cameo in Episode 6. And he wasn't even in Episode 5. In Episode 5 and 6, something similar that could have fit in Mando Season 3. Like the Grogu training, Mando on these side missions. That would have been perfect for the beginning of Season 3. After watching Book of Boba Fett, after watching Season 3, and hearing that Dave Filoni is going to have a Mandoverse movie to finish off the Mandoverse, I really don't know how they're going to finish it off. Leaving Season 3 how it was, it really was not satisfying to me. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I don't believe Ahsoka is going to be that good. I believe it's just going to be underwhelming as well. But now we get into the sequel trilogy and Holiday Special. Holiday Special is not canon. I remember it as being this funny, really funny thing I watched. I believe it's better than a lot of these. It's a 5 out of 5 movie, obviously, because I loved it. But where does it truly rank? It probably is going to rank around average. And I remember last year, I ranked Rise of Skywalker around average, the top of average. I liked Rise of Skywalker back then. Force Awakens was right next to it. And these 3 movies I really wanted to rewatch. I really wanted to rank them on Letterboxd and give a true rating on them. From how I remember, I believe Force Awakens is better than most of these projects. I believe it's an average movie, but it has disappointment. You had so much potential with Finn, a stormtrooper, a force-sensitive stormtrooper, turned into a Jedi. How cool would that have been? And then they had no story. They had no plan from that movie on. I'm going to rank it between Rebels Season 4 and Clone Wars Season 3. Last Jedi is Admiral Holdo. I believe every project above here is better than Last Jedi. And The Rise of Skywalker. I didn't get a chance to rewatch this movie. I love seeing the trio finally together. There's some pros I enjoyed about The Rise of Skywalker. And there's some cons about The Rise of Skywalker. They should have explained Palpatine was a clone. I believe that ruined a lot of people's experiences. I believe it's better than everything in the below average tier. And I'm going to rank it between Rebel Season 4 and Force Awakens. This is my official list, from the left side of the tier being the best of that tier to the right side being the worst of that tier. And this is everything ranked from perfect tier all the way down to Admiral Holdo tier. This is my official Star Wars canon ranking. Hope you guys have an amazing May 4th. May the Force be with you. always. My letterbox will be in the description for you to follow. If you want to use this tier list for yourself, this is not my tier list, this is someone else's, as you can see by the bottom here. I'll leave this tier list in the description down below. Make sure to subscribe if you're new or you haven't subscribed yet, and hit the bell. If you made it this far into the video, God bless you. Thank you very much for the support. God bless. Jesus loves you. Have an amazing day. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.